Hey everybody, it's Tia Upshaw. We are now into 2025 and we are taking the identity shift back to a whole new level. This year it's about showing up authentically, unapologetically, and ready to shift into the life you deserve. Are you ready to make that move? That move that matters? If so, let's do this. The identity shift is here and we're just getting started. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Identity Shift. It has been a minute. I was on vacation in beautiful Jamaica for a few weeks, and then when I came back, I had a lot going on with regards to awards and all these things. And I just got prompted today to literally go check my email because I always get these questions sent in when I'm about to do a solo episode by myself. So I wasn't going to do one today, but I decided to do a solo episode for all of you guys because I have so many different emails that are asking certain questions for me to bring up certain topics on the podcast. So, welcome, and here I am. Anyways, let's jump right to it, you guys. So, we have a lot of questions around mindset and leveling up. Those questions came in the last couple of days. And it's probably based on the fact that I received the Most Powerful Women in Business Top 25 in Atlanta, Canada. And my award is right there, the Beautiful Woman. And yesterday, I actually received the King Charles III Coronation Medal. Received that from the government of Canada yesterday, province of Nova Scotia. So I think people are asking these questions in the last few days based on that, about the mindset. And we do have some questions around entrepreneurship and whatnot, and I have no problem with answering those. So let me just, and I'm going to do this fishbowl style, I'm just grabbing them. I actually just copied all the questions and pasted them, so I don't know who asked what. I'm not, playing favorites. The first one, What's one non-negotiable habit, Tia, that keeps you on your game? My naps. My naps. And I'm not joking when I say this, you guys. I am serious about my downtime and my naps. Those who know me know I'm serious about the naps. When I don't get my naps, I am on edge. I have a headache. I am not myself. It's almost like if you eat a Snickers bar. If you don't get a Snickers, you're not yourself. So my non-negotiable thing that keeps me on my game is always my naps. Another non-negotiable thing would be my date nights with my fiance. Non-negotiable. Again, those who know. On Fridays, I am not available. I am with him. On Wednesdays, I am not available. I am with him. And on Sundays, I am not available. I am with him. Non-negotiable. And that doesn't change. Like, very straight across the board, I have missed very important events because that is date night with him. And we've been doing this now almost 12 years. That we stick to date nights on Fridays. It's not business. It's all about me and him. Wednesdays is kind of a chill night where we're just, relaxing, vegging out, chilling out. And Sundays are, a lot of conversation around how the week's going to look, what's going on in his world, what's going on in my business world, and all these things. So that is definitely non-negotiable. And third, when I'm spending time with my children. Again, non-negotiable. Now, it is very hard to weave, all that together. I will say that. I'll be completely honest, guys. It's very, very difficult with my schedule, with what I have going on as, a businesswoman, a keynoter, an author, a TV personality. Like, very difficult. And that's why I say it's non-negotiable, because I have to ensure that time is given. I'm only one person. I'm only one person who wears many hats. But I have to always remember and stay grounded that two very important hats I wear. One is that I'm a mother. And the second one that I'm a soon-to-be wife. So those are non-negotiable for me. And I usually don't care what's going on. Now, if I'm traveling for a keynote speaking engagement or for an awards or something like that, and my travels fall on a Wednesday or a Sunday or a Friday, or something where I told my kids I'll do something with them on a certain day, and it happens to fall on that, well, then I'll have that discussion, with them and get their feel, see what their vibes are saying. If they say they're okay, but the body language is not given, then I won't go. Literally facts. I have canceled a lot of things. Now, if they're like, absolutely, go ahead, mom, we understand, or babe, don't worry about it, I'll see me get back, then I will go. So, I would say those are my non-negotiables, guys. And they're non-negotiables because they're priorities in my life. They are priorities in my life. And once you figure out what is a prioritization for you in your world, in your life, in your bubble, then you will start knowing what's non-negotiable and what you're willing to change, what you're willing to move, what you're willing to shift, what you're willing to pivot, and what you're not. You'll absolutely come to that when you realize what is priority to you. So I hope I answered your question for the individual that asked that. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, I love this one. Okay. What's your response, Tia, LOL, to people who always make excuses? Whew. Love this question, and I love the fact that the person said LOL. So the person must know me well enough to know that I don't deal with, excuses. I'm big on accountability. So my response is, depending on the person and depending on what their excuse is, and let's be clear, there's an excuse and then there's a reason. Let's be very clear. Excuses are not always reasons. Excuses are a way to get out of something or to find fault in why they didn't do what they said they were going to do, or so they don't have to take accountability for what they didn't achieve or what they were supposed to do when they were supposed to do it. So my response depends on the person and the situation. So in a good situation, my response would be, I'm sorry to hear that. What can I do to support you in ensuring that we can move forward? You can move forward with, their goal or their business or whatever it is, right? I want to support you in this to ensure that, this doesn't take a back seat because it's very important. Now, when there's an individual who always got excuses or who always can't, or who's always sick, or who's always something, always having a bad day, I will entertain it one or two times. The third time, I'm almost like, just good luck with your endeavors. Unfortunately, I'm caring about the success of you more than you are. And if you like what's going on, if you want to stay in the struggle and stay being mediocre, then if you like it, Tia loves it. So basically, I say good luck to your endeavors because there's no more conversation going to be had between myself and that individual. I am not for excuses. I am an individual that has built everything she has from nothing. Myself and my fiance have, goodness gracious, built it from nothing. And without the support from him to keep me going, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing this long. And yes, everybody is different. I know you're thinking, well, everybody is different here. Not everybody's built like you. I never said you had to be built like me. What I'm saying is accountability. That's straight across the board. Historically, traditionally, the Oxford Dictionary gives a definition on accountability. So there's only so many excuses you can give before accountability should be kicking in on your ass. At what point do the excuses stop? What point? But again, if an individual likes their situation, I'm going to love it. If you're okay with the struggle and, being mediocre, I'm going to be okay with it too. And I'm just going to watch you from a distance because for me, excuses have no place in entrepreneurship, especially when you're trying to build your business, build your brand. Now, if you're doing a hobby, have all the excuses you want because you already have your backup 9 to 5 and it doesn't really matter to you. But if you're an individual that depends on your finances coming from the revenue from your business, man, leave them excuses at home. And I'm happy I got asked that question, and I'm hoping I answered that question to the best of my ability because Boy, let me tell you, everybody has an excuse. Everybody wants to be successful until it's time to put in the work. Till it's time to show up. Till it's time to work 7 days a week. Until it's time to not be able to go on vacation. Until it's time to be able to not go with your girlfriends to the nightclub. Everybody wants to be successful or have this business making money until it's time to put in the fucking work. And then that's when you start seeing the excuses jump in, and it drives me absolutely bonkers. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one's an easy one. I'm only going to keep this one short. How do you deal, Tia, with negative people and doubters? Well, I did a post yesterday around this for the King Charles Jubilee Award, and it's right there. And it was a reel. It wasn't a post. It was a reel. Sorry. And basically, I believe the caption was like, they said I could not start a business. I couldn't scale a business. I wasn't educated enough, and I didn't even fit the mold of a businesswoman. And I made that post because, yes, I'm celebrating, my successes in the last few weeks. But I have to realize that it never came easy. And, people doubted. People said things. There was a whole smear campaign about me on social media for almost 2 years. It just was messy. And, I mean, people still doubt me now. People want to see you win, but not do better than them. But in any event, that post really resonated with me because I needed other women, other black women to know that you may not have the support. You may have negative people around you and doubters. But one of the biggest, things that you have to do is get rid of the people that want to see you struggle or are okay with seeing you struggle. The people that want to keep you in the clubs, the people that want to keep you hanging out every weekend, drinking and doing nothing. You need to get rid of them people. And for individuals that are dealing with doubters who are always negative in their ear, oh, I don't think you should, you can't, you don't have enough time, what about your kids, oh, I don't think it's a good fit, all that foolishness, you can get rid of them or you can keep them, doesn't really matter. But I will say, if you do keep them around, take all that negative energy and turn it into fire. Have it come back as a flame. Build on what they're saying you cannot do and utilize that to fuel you every fucking day to get out of that bed and, show them and show yourself, show them that absolutely I can do it. I'm gonna show you and I'm gonna be here doing it. So for me, doing that post was really, really important because it so often you think that there's people around you that are happy for you, congratulating you, lifting you up, and they're not. And I will say, sometimes there are people that are lifting you up genuinely, because I have a few. My circle is very small, very tight. I have a few. And then there's people that will lift you up so far just to tear your ass all the way down. Those ones, they need to kick rocks. They get kicked out of doing that bullshit. And then there's ones that I said they want to see you do good but not better than them. You cannot exceed the expectation they had for you. The moment you exceed an expectation an individual has for you is the moment you become a threat. And when you become a threat, then the smear campaign start. And, the conversation about you behind closed doors happen. And they start blocking you from opportunities and talking about you and all that stuff. So just be very careful who you have in your circle. But I would listen. Listen and pay attention to who claps and celebrates you when you win. The ones that are quiet, let them go. I literally said this morning to myself. I need to go through my social media because I have a lot of followers. And I'm equating my followers with my likes and comments or reposts, right? And I'm very observant. I'm a businesswoman. I know numbers. I know how to read a room. I'm very observant. So I know who's congratulating me, who's liking, who's making a comment on very important successes and posts that I've done, and who's staying quiet. Those are the motherfuckers that gotta go. They gotta go. I don't care if we were cool 6 months ago, if we were good a year ago, we did a business partnership, or you spoke for BWIE, or you were a partner to our organization, all that stuff, I could care less. We're talking about the now. The present and the future. If you can't clap for me during my winning season, and you're there for me to be a spectator on my losing season, you gotta go. You gotta go. And that stems from you exceeding the expectations an individual have for you. right? So be very careful around that. It's very easy to get caught up in the mix and be blinded by it, but you need to wake up. Remember, listen and pay attention. Those who are quiet during your winning season, those are the ones you want to get rid of, right off the rip. So I hope I answered that. Great for you. I love these topics. They're great. Let me go up. I'm going to go to the business ones because I like the business ones. Oh my God, there's a lot. Sorry. Oh, Tia, what is the biggest mistake new entrepreneurs make? It doesn't matter what their cultural color or creed is. Absolutely, it doesn't matter. An entrepreneur is an entrepreneur, and a mistake is a mistake. I will say the biggest mistakes that new businesses make, or entrepreneurs who are building something from the ground up, because they are people who take risks, blah, blah, blah. The biggest mistake is trying to be perfect. Trying to be perfect. I facilitate for Nova Scotia Workplace Education programs, and I was doing a digital skills program last night and had this conversation. You know, that could be a toxic trait for yourself in your business. The moment you say, oh, I'm not going to launch until my website's perfect or done. I'm not going to create a Facebook or Instagram or any social media page until I have professional pictures. Oh, I'm not going to do a LinkedIn page until I have a professional headshot. When you start making those excuses around perfection, you're not ever going to do that. You're never going to do it. Because then if you're talking about LinkedIn, let's say you're talking about LinkedIn, I'm not going to do a LinkedIn page to show my attributes because I don't have a headshot. You know headshots cost money, right? So if you're an entrepreneur and you're new in business, all your money is jammed up in starting your business. Do you really have extra money to get headshots done professionally? No. So then what happens is you're holding on, oh, next month. And then what happens, 6 months later, you still don't have a LinkedIn page and you still never got your goddamn headshots done. So the biggest mistakes I would say entrepreneurs make are literally the fact that they want to be perfect. They want to be a perfectionist within their business, and it's definitely going to be their downfall, and it definitely is a toxic trait. One advice I give to people is that you go with what you know. As you go, you will grow. If anybody thinks for a minute that everything I have going on now, I had it from the beginning, or my website looked great from the beginning, my images of my brand of who I am look great from the beginning, my videos that I do were great from the beginning, oh my God. If anybody could go back and look at my social media when I started it in 20, I believe, 14 or 13, 14, on Instagram, it was a mess. And that was for my business. Now, if you go back even 2020, when I started Black Women in Excellence, it was chaotic, it was messy, it was just, there was no real, target reach. There was no really intentionality around what I was posting about. I was just posting, right? And I don't regret it. It was messy, it was crazy, it was unprofessional, like who cares? But what I did do is I created a buzz. I created a buzz around Black women entrepreneurs and what's going on in Atlantic Canada, what's going on in Canada with regards to them. And as I grew, as I become more educated, better trained, more efficient, I literally have changed the whole dynamic of how, my social media platforms look. My LinkedIn page is fire. Chef's kiss. My LinkedIn page is up to date. Literally, I just put my 2 awards up there this morning. Up to date. Everything you need to know about Tia is up there. My bio is clean cut to the point with high value wording around it and including SEO wordings around it because I'm big on the SEO because I am Googleable. When you Google Tia Upshaw, I come up to the top and you should see all the images that come with it. And that's because of the SEOs I'm always using. But my LinkedIn literally is my platform. It is my platform where I leverage, I'm going to say anywhere from 95 to 97% of my revenue. I get a lot of my bookings on LinkedIn for facilitation, keynote speaking engagements in general. It's from LinkedIn. A lot of my partnerships for the organization have been from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my platform. Some of you guys have a platform of Instagram you make money from, you do well on, and you get your conversions from people being followers to actually being paid customers. Some of you guys use Facebook and do well on there. And then we have a lot of people that use TikTok and do well on there. my space and my platform is LinkedIn. And I don't know if it's because I love the aesthetic of LinkedIn. I love the fact that LinkedIn is a place where you're supposed to brag. You're supposed to talk about your accolades. You're supposed to talk about your accomplishment. You're supposed to put these things on here. So I like it for that aesthetic where I don't feel like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of seeing Tia's posts. Like, oh my gosh, she's always posting about A, B, C, and D. Okay, you're doing good in life, girl. I don't get that vibe from LinkedIn. I'm celebrated on LinkedIn. I've actually had someone say to me, colleague, friend, and I talked about this Sunday at an event I did for Femme Entity, that I had a friend, colleague, say to me that I reached out to her. I said, I noticed you're not on my LinkedIn page no more. And she was like, no. I was like, oh, how come you got rid of LinkedIn? She was like, no, I was just sick and tired of seeing, your posts. I was like, what do you mean? Did I say something to offend you? Like, what are you talking about? And they were like, no, you're just always posting these things. Like, you got this award, you got that award. And I'm like, girl, will you stop? That is what LinkedIn is for. LinkedIn is, what do you want LinkedIn for? And here's my biggest takeaway from that. How she feels about my successes is not my business. What she needs to do, and I say this to her, what you need to do is commit yourself for growth. Put yourself out there and really go hard so that you can accomplish some of these accolades too. And the moment you accomplish some of these and be able to feel great about posting them to build your brand or your business, you won't feel that way about me no more. But until you do that, you're going to feel a way about me every time I post. And let's keep in mind, guys, I am not going to stop posting. So that happened about 10 months ago, almost a year ago actually, and I post still. And I will keep posting, and I will keep celebrating my successes. Because if no one don't celebrate Tia, I mean, my fiance always will. He's my biggest cheerleader. But honestly, if no one doesn't celebrate Tia, who the fuck's going to? So I am always going to post about my accomplishments and my successes. And literally, you just got to do it because you have to, like, block the noise out and all that stuff. So that is, the biggest mistake of entrepreneurs is, doing things and trying to be perfect and doing those same things when they're starting their businesses. Hard lesson learned about scaling business. This is it. I would say the hardest lesson I learned about scaling my businesses was scaling is not easy. And you would think startup was hard and scaling was easy. Oh my gosh, it's total opposite, you guys. And I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. And you're probably thinking money. No, that's not the first reason for me. The first reason is startup. You're so passionate. You got a new little toy. You got a new little baby. You're watering this baby. And you're watching it grow, and you're excited. And it's a passion, right? So it doesn't feel like work. And regardless if you had any money to start the business or not, you are eating, breathing, and shitting your small new business where that is just going to be you and you love it. Okay. When you're scaling that same business you love, it's a different beast. You now have to look at access of capital. You now have to look, or am I going to be doing more partnerships, collaborations, funding opportunities? You may be looking for an investor or investors, crowdfunding, all these things. And then when you're scaling your business, remember this. Here is the key to it. Here's the key. And some people would agree, and some people may say they don't agree. Some people may not even know what I'm talking about. When you're scaling a business, you can't scale it by yourself. You have to bring on employees, which means, guess what? HR. Which is a whole nother fucking beast. And I'm not against employees, but I'm telling you right now, it's very difficult. Very difficult because you end up trusting, employees. You end up, bring them in like a family. You end up really wanting to watch them grow and see them grow. You really invest in them. You really invest in your employees. And then the moment your employees just say, fuck you, and they shit on you, and they, jump ship, it hits differently because you are an entrepreneur. So that business was something you started from the beginning, or that organization you started from the beginning, and you invested in them to watch them grow and bring them in and give them opportunities, and then they just shit on you by jumping ship or talking shit about you and all that stuff. And you're human. and you have that connection with your business. So it's very hurtful. So for me, that was a hard lesson that I've learned that no time in the next year or so will I be looking to, scale any of my businesses to even having employees. I'm going to scale as best I can through innovation, utilizing AI tools and things like that. But the employee thing, it ain't for me. It ain't for me. It ain't for me. So I guess those were a couple of the hard lessons I've learned, that scaling is not easy. Startup was easier. Yeah. So if anybody knows the organization Black Women in Excellence, which I founded and I'm the CEO of, they know that I primarily work with startup businesses. I do not work with businesses that are scaling. Now, I will mentor those businesses. I will put them in connections and provide opportunities for them to meet other people that can get them to where they need to go. But me, I am not a fan of the scale up phase at all. Tia, I know you know this answer very well, and I've heard you say it before, talk about it before, but I need to ask directly. Girl, how do you stay consistent with when your motivation is at an all-time low? The motivation for me is I never want to be broke ever again. I will be quite honest with you. Anytime I want to stop doing what I'm doing, I think about how I was living in 2013. I never want to feel that way ever again. I never want to feel like I have to take from Peter to pay Paul. How am I paying a power bill? Should I buy groceries or power rich one? I never want to be able to not help my children if they need help with paying rent, or can you co-sign for me on a car or anything. I just never want to feel less than of as a parent that I'm not able to provide even for my adult children today. I want to be able to live the lifestyle that I've created for myself. I don't travel often because I do a lot of work here and a lot of community work. And I have several businesses and organizations, so I can't. So people are like, oh, you don't travel as much as I thought you would. No, I travel once a year for 2 weeks. But I will say, I shouldn't say I don't travel, because I do travel for business. So I'm going to correct myself. I don't travel for leisure. So for me, that money I'm saving on travel is allowing me to build assets, allowing me to really understand what it means to have money and not have to have people validate you by what you drive or what you live in or how you dress that you have money. So for me, the motivation is I never want to be broke again. I never want to feel like I have no choice but to do something, right? That is what keeps me going all the time, every day. And I love the lifestyle that I provided for myself. I really do. I love that I can do things without having to really save up for it, or get a loan, or I'm able to invest in my other businesses through another business. I was able to start the organization Black Women in Excellence by taking money from my cleaning company and putting into that. So I love being able to provide those opportunities for myself to grow. I love being a self-made author. I love being self-made, period, because I don't owe anybody any motherfucking thing. So that is literally how I stay motivated when I start feeling at my all-time low. And I will do one more question. Let's see. Those two are good. Let me see. Do you believe, Tia, not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur? Absolutely fucking yes. Jeez. Absolutely. Not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. It's a fact. It's factual. So many people think that anybody can be an entrepreneur. Anybody can be an entrepreneur. But how many are meant to be? There's a big difference. And there's a big separation between being an entrepreneur and being a hobbyist. So I think a lot of people get that mixed up. You can be a hobbyist where you have a hobby where you're making things and you're selling things 3 times a year at events or during different holidays or seasons, and that's what you do. But you work a full-time job. That's a fucking hobbyist. That is a hobbyist. You're not risking nothing. You are not laying nothing on the line. You are not giving up anything to do this. You are just creating another stream of income for yourself by having a hobby a few times a year. They ain't entrepreneurs. MLMs. When you have the candle businesses and, the Avons and the Mary Kays and all the other things, that's not entrepreneurship. That is not entrepreneurship. You're actually making money for the entrepreneur who created these opportunities. So they presented to you that you are an entrepreneur and you're a businesswoman, but you're actually basically your contractor or / employee. Because you didn't take the risk to build any of this. You didn't build the brand. You didn't create the opportunities. You haven't invested or taken the risk to do anything with that business. You're just working for the person, and the person's getting a portion of what you're selling back. So you're making the millions. But anyways, I won't go on and on about the MLMs. An entrepreneur is somebody who takes a risk. And let me just see. I am going to grab a definition. What is an entrepreneur? Definition. Watch this, guys. It's a fact. Entrepreneur and business woman or businessman are two different things. So, I'm going to clarify this for everybody right now. Here it is. An entrepreneur is someone who takes the initiative to create, manage, and grow a business venture, assuming all financial risks in pursuit of profit and impact. Entrepreneurs are innovators, problem solvers, and leaders who identify opportunities, develop solutions, and build businesses that bring value to the market. So, no, not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. Do you know how much work goes into that shit? Now, I'm not employable, and I spoke about this on my podcast a while ago, and I do post about it often. And I started using that term, a few years ago. But anyways, I'm not employable. And the reason, there's several reasons why I'm not employable, but I'm glad I'm not. Because I'm meant to be an entrepreneur. I'm meant to create opportunities, not just for myself, for my family, and for community. That is and I'm not afraid to risk everything. I'm not afraid to take on all the capital debts to, see the benefits in the long run. That is what I do. I love the risk of seeing something be planted to see if it can grow. And for me, I don't have the fear of it's not going to work. I don't have the fear I'm going to fail. I generally don't care. If I fail, I fail. At least I did the damn thing. Or at least I tried it. I don't care. And if I do fail, for me, failing is a word, it's a terminology, and a definition around it. We all know what it is. But for me, I see that as a growth and an opportunity for me to learn from why I failed and go back to the drawing board. So not everybody can be an entrepreneur, and everybody can be an entrepreneur, but not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. And more people need to realize that. Some people are employable and some people are not employable. And entrepreneurship is huge. It's a huge responsibility. If you work a 9 to 5 for somebody, you get to clock out at 5. You don't have to answer your phone. You're not working weekends. You're not working evenings. You spend time with your family. You take a 2-week vacation. No one can bother you. When you're an entrepreneur, you may make a lot of money, but the misconception is you can take vacation whenever you want is bullshit. Bullshit. I literally work 24/7, and I will say successful entrepreneurs do. The ones that, again, are /hobbyists /entrepreneurs, they haven't really figured out what they want. They don't do, the 24/7, or they have this whole thing around you don't have to work 24/7 or 7 days a week to be a successful entrepreneur. I haven't met someone yet that's successful that hasn't worked 7 days a week in their first, 5 to 10 years of their business. You don't get to take breaks. You don't get to take trips. You don't get to take vacation whenever you want. You see an opportunity in an email, you'll stop everything you're doing to, check that email as a mind frame of a successful entrepreneur, because you see an opportunity. You see an opportunity at an event, you'll come home and you'll create a framework around how you can do something to be better than what that event was doing and showing that opportunity. You see an opportunity for a collaboration with someone that you just met at a networking event. You'll come home, add them on LinkedIn within 2 days. You'll send them an email, let's go for lunch or coffee. That is what entrepreneurship is. If you have to, work weekends, you work weekends graciously, smiling, because that's your business and you love what you do. And, with all the rest, there are so many more benefits. So many more benefits. And I'm saying this from a place of an individual that is not employable. I'm saying this from an individual that, I would say people said I don't even fit in the mold. I didn't fit in the mold as a businesswoman. To this day, in my own black community, as a black woman in business, a lot of people, especially the elders, believe I don't fit the mold of what a businesswoman looks like. And I'm just like, geez, you guys need to really wake up. Because as an entrepreneur, I'm able to scale myself, create different revenues, create different opportunities for myself to make more money than someone who is getting, paid a government position. I speak to government individuals all the time, women who are leaving their positions because either A, they're over it, burnt out from the DEI, or they're like, okay, I'm at the top of my totem pole, I can't get promoted anymore, I'm at the top, and I already reached the threshold financially, and I still got another 15 years left in me, I don't want to keep doing this. So they leave and they start their business because you have control over how you scale your life when it comes to being an entrepreneur. We have control if we decide to work 7 days a week or 4 days a week. Now, 4 days a week people are not going to get the money that 7 day people do. We have the ability to have different revenue streams with opportunities to be, a podcaster or author or, create templates for people and have them downloadable or create digital media stuff on Etsy. Like, we have the opportunity to do these things and scale our revenue differently than someone who works a 9 to 5. So I hope I answered your question. I didn't go too much on a tangent, but entrepreneurship is not made for everybody, and it's not made for individuals that have, I don't want to say weak, I used to say that. It's not made for individuals that have a threshold that they cannot go above. I'll be nice about it. It's a hard thing to do, and it's hard to deal with every day, but it's so worth it and beneficial. So I have lots more questions, and I'm going to try to do my solo podcast like on a bi-weekly because the questions just keep coming in. I can't even keep up with them. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in today, and I really hope I answered the questions to the individuals who emailed me. And if you are an individual that has questions and you're curious about my opinion on a topic, send an email. Send an email to tiaupshaw@gmail.com, and I will eventually get your question on my podcast, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. But until next time, guys, I want to thank everybody for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, and YouTube. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day. Well, that's a wrap on this episode of The Identity Shift, where we are all about bold moves, real talk, and transforming your life and business. Remember, this year is all about showing up and leveling up, authentically and unapologetically, because the shift starts with you. If you love what you heard, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform. Stay connected for more powerful conversation and actionable insights to help you level all the way up. Until next time, this is your girl, Tia Upshaw, reminding you to keep shifting, keep growing, and most importantly, keep showing up for you.